Good afternoon, good morning, or good evening, wherever you may be watching today's Pada Beyond event. And welcome to the final session on the last day of Pada Beyond Travel Recovery Solutions. So we've come to the final session, Discover Beyond 2021. Welcome to the new normal. For those you don't know and joining us for the first time, the Discover Beyond sessions provide the perfect opportunity for you to discover the latest products and solutions that can help you build your business and brand as we look to restart travel. First, let me just introduce myself. My name is Paul Brancan. I am the Director of Communications and External Affairs at the Pacific Asia Travel Association, also known as PATA, and I will be your host for today. Now, before we get to our first presentation, let me just provide a few notes to make your viewing more enjoyable. For those of you who are watching this session via the event platform on your desktop, you'll notice on the right-hand side is a chat box, is a chat section. So if you have any questions for the presenter, any of the presenters, please place your questions there. My team will send that to me, and I will then send that over to the presenter. If you want to chat with the other attendees, feel free to use that section. Say hello, where you're from, what you're doing, how's the weather, anything you want. You can use that to chat with other attendees who are viewing this current session. If you're watching this on your mobile app, same thing. Just go to the session chat and click on that. You can then submit your questions to us to give to the presenter. And again, if you want to chat with other delegates, feel free to use that section as well. I will just one little point I need to make. So from the time we're actually shooting this on video to the time that you're receiving this, there's a 30-second lag because it's kind of a lot that's going on in the back end that you're not seeing, but there's a 30-second lag. So if you have any questions for any of our presenters, please do send them in immediately. Do not wait till the very, very end, because at that time I might have moved on to the next presenter, and therefore your question might not be answered. So please, any questions at any time, send them in. My team will get them over to me, and we'll get that answered for you. Okay, if you're still familiar to the site, there is a walkthrough that we did on the first day. You can go back and watch that. Just go to the first session on the first day, click the video, introduction and walkthrough through Pada, and there's a sort of a video that just gives you a walkthrough of the platform. If you want to view any of our previous sessions, they're all available on demand. Just go on the schedule, look at any previous sessions that you might have missed, click on them and view them at your pleasure. We had some great content, some great speakers over the past 4 days. I do suggest you go and look at them. We had a VC panel. We had the executive chairman from the Commons Project. We had a great discussion the other day, sustainability, data, some great content, great speakers. And we have a bunch of great speakers today, and one excellent speaker coming up soon. So with that, let me get to today's session. We have Discover Beyond 2021. Welcome to the new normal. As we know, travel has slowly restarted. We've seen domestic travel is booming across the board. Some parts, there are some international travel. So we do have a glimpse of what travel is going to sort of look like moving forward. So our presenter, Pada CEO, Dr. Mario Hardy, is going to take a look back at sort of what we've gone through the past few days and help us paint a picture of what travel will look like beyond 2021. And with that, ladies and gentlemen, please welcome Pada CEO, Dr. Mario Hardy. Mario, over to you.
Thank you, Paul. Let me share my screen, just 1 second. There we go. Thank you. Good afternoon, everyone, and thank you for joining us today. You know, everyone keeps asking, is there a future for travel and tourism? Of course there is. In every crisis, there are opportunities, and I see wonders of opportunities moving forward. Yes, it will take time for the tourism industry to recover. It will be a slow recovery. Will it be different after COVID-19? Absolutely. Will business travel and tourism business sales still be around? Yes, for many of them. However, these businesses need to transform, to pivot, to expand, to look at new opportunities moving forward, because business is changing. The demand and the desire of the travelers are also changing. So what are the areas that we need in order to have a more sustainable and a better tourism industry moving forward? What are the protocols and the different systems that actually are here to stay? And what are new services we will require moving forward? So what I'd like to do today, rather than speaking about AI and bots and other things like this, which are all part of this, rather than actually talk about some areas of opportunities for the tourism sector that we need to look at. The first one and the most critical one to restart travel moving forward today, over the next few weeks and month and year to come, are the health and border crossing protocols that needs to be put in place. These protocols that are all being entertained by various governments and businesses around the world, they're not just one-off for us to kickstart tourism again. For many of those, they will remain with us for many years, if not forever. Health pass or health passport, as some others have been calling them, they're coming and they will be here to stay. To keep track of who's been vaccinated, what type of vaccine you received, when you receive your vaccination. If you've been tested, when you've been tested, what type of test was done, and etc. We need to keep track and keep record of this as people travel and move borders from across borders, as they check in into the hotels, as they check in into events and entertainment areas. We may be asked for some proof of either vaccination or testing for an extensive period of time. Sadly, this is unlikely to be the only pandemic we will be facing in years to come. So therefore, these technologies will remain moving forward. There's lots of other protocols that needs to be embedded into the airport check-in areas, such as temperature checks and etc. Those will also remain moving forward. Now, for those who actually are working in businesses who are listening today, these are all areas of opportunities to build new services, because what we'll need is what we call seamless travel to ensure that moving forward, we as consumers or travelers can cross borders easily. Because at the moment, one of our concerns is that many governments are actually looking at putting their own protocols in place, and they differ from one place to another. Well, this is not so much different from what happened after 9/11, when security checks from borders to borders were quite different, and all of us who had to travel were very confused about it. We will most likely over the coming months have some confusion as we progress from one place to another, but harmonizations of protocols is coming and will be there moving forward. The next area is digital transformation. Many businesses had already done digital transformation pre-COVID-19, but now it's no longer a choice. It is a must. Your business must be digitalized if it isn't today. Otherwise, you may not actually survive this crisis moving forward. There are different levels of how you digitize your business moving forward. Some may need more, some may need less, but you need some form of digital transformation. Again, businesses who work in this sector, there are many of them who participated this week at the event, showcasing the best of the technologies available out there to improve efficiencies of your business. We'll come back to that. Next, remote working or collaboration tools. We've heard so much of it. This is a topic that actually intrigues and fascinates me very much. The complexity of actually remote working. As a potential remote worker myself, I find that quite exciting, the opportunity to be able to work from anywhere around the planet, as long as I've got access to Wi-Fi and other tools. Sounds wonderful. Until you actually get into the nitty-gritty of actually putting this in place as a business and realize the complexities around taxations, minimum wage, and all the other aspects of remote working that haven't been fully understood by everyone yet. But surely, over the next few weeks and months to come and years to come, those will become clearer and clearer. Many businesses will build better tools for us to collaborate remotely and ensure that we can actually move forward. The next area is operational efficiencies. Sadly, many businesses have suffered financially very, very much during this crisis and are still today suffering from this economic crisis. And therefore, we'll be looking at ways and how they can actually be more productive, more efficient in running their business moving forward. Next, tech that brings people together. Humans are social creatures. We all need to gather together. Now, face-to-face meetings are not over. Events are not over. They are coming back, but they may come back slightly different. Hybrid events are most likely here to stay for quite some time, if not forever, where we will collaborate both in person and both remotely as well. So the collaboration tools that are actually required, the ways that where we can engage as we do today on this platform, there'll be more of them moving forward, but also ways where we can engage physically and face-to-face in a more engaging manner also moving forward. Because, as I said, we're social creatures. We do need that interaction, that face-to-face between individuals. Clean and green, renewable energy, sustainability, those are words we've been hearing for a long time, but now is the time to implement them. Now is the time where we must implement them, not only for the continuity of humanity and for the planet, but also because it makes business sense. We know that actually people who are thinking of traveling in the future, to sentiment analysis that we've been running through our partners, that is not only an immense desire to travel, but an immense desire to travel to destinations that are actually perceived to be clean and safe, and also that actually has a great respect for the environment and for the people. Looking at renewable energies and other solutions are actually required to move our tourism journey to something which is more responsible. As I said, it is really a necessity moving forward. Lastly, the other areas I'd like to talk about, which was discussed several times during this week at the event, is data, big data, and also data privacy. As all of these tools that I mentioned before that are coming into the marketplace come along, we need to be able to interpret the massive amount of data that we currently collect and will be collecting in the future to help us make better decisions on how we improve our tourism moving forward. Dashboards that would help tourism organizations, tourism NTOs, National Tourism Boards, for example, or DMOs, that gives them the on-time information, the accurate and real-time information to understand how tourism is being impacted at the destination itself, how they need to build better infrastructure moving forward, how they actually need to market their destinations in the future differently. Many of these solutions were presented throughout the week, and also the big questions around data privacy. Well, as businesses amass this amount of information about ourselves and our behaviors, what we like, what we don't like, where we like to go and what we like to do, there's also this big question about data privacy. How much should you know about me? Enough to give me a good product, but not too much that you can actually make malicious decisions or use of that information, that data. It's a question that has also been asked or paused many times about the health pass or the health passport. How much information should be shared? With concern that maybe insurance companies or government may actually misuse this information. Well, we should provide enough to know for the destination or the businesses to know that you have been vaccinated and this vaccine is actually real. It's not a fake that you bought in the black market, but a real one. That is actually critical. So again, data privacy, it will be a lot of debate over time, over the months to come and years to come, about how much should we give and how much should actually governments and other businesses should have access to. There was also discussions about should businesses buy data from us? Should we sell our data as consumers to the various social media platforms and other businesses around the world? Again, those are many, many questions that were asked throughout the week at the event that still remains unanswered at the moment, but something for us to actually think about as we move forward. So I thank everyone for having joined. I look forward to the pitch sessions next, but I believe Paul will be coming back now and we'll just have a short discussions about these various topics. So Paul, over to you.
Thank you very much, Mario. Yeah, so I mean, pretty much you've covered a lot of what's going on over the past few days. I want to just pick your brain about something here. I mean, we've talked about health and digital transformation, data, sustainability. But in terms of when you talk to our members or different stakeholders, what's the biggest thing that they overlook out of everything that we've talked about over the past few days? What's the one thing that no one's really focusing on?
In my opinion, it's the first part, the health and border crossing protocols. It is urgent. It is of extreme urgency for governments to actually get together and agree on standard formats to move forward. Only then we will be able to actually restart travel in a much larger capacity than we anticipate over a period of time. If we stay on course as to what is being done today, I foresee that we will not have tourism really started until the fourth quarter of this year. But there is a possibility that if governments really get together and ensure that there's consistency and harmonizations of the protocols, at least within a region, if not globally, there is a possibility we can restart travel safely earlier than that.
Yeah, I think I was talking to Scott Wayne from the Asian Development Bank Project, because we're saying that maybe the big issue is that a lot of times the industry's just been talking to themselves. I mean, is that one of the biggest problems that we're just preaching to the choir, that nobody's really talking to health, the Ministry of Health and the Ministry of Immigration, Safety and Security, all these different bodies? Is that like probably one of the biggest issues right now, that you have all of the other stakeholders that aren't being brought into that conversation, or is tourism being left out of that conversation?
Yeah, it's a very complex issue. We shouldn't underestimate the efforts that are required to put these in place, because it doesn't only involve tourism ministers or National Tourism Board. It involves lots of other the departments within the governments, health obviously being at the center of this. And even in a normal time, we know how complicated, how difficult it is to get collaborations between various departments of the governments. So in a crisis, you have that sense of urgency that's actually kind of pushing people to have it. But again, it's kind of a difficult area. And this is where I believe, and this is something I've shared publicly with other people before, that where I strongly believe that organizations such as the World Health Organizations, the International Civil Aviation, ICAO, and the United Nations World Tourism Organizations should really work together much closer, and sharing their guidelines, or proposed guidelines to restart travel, for at least for those countries who are maybe a little bit behind others in terms of figuring out how to do it. At least that would give them a pathway to accelerate the process moving forward. They have that recognition and that knowledge within their respective organizations to be able to lead this industry to move further.
I just wanted to remind anybody, if you're watching this and you have any questions for Dr. Hardy, please do remember to send them in. Use the chat function on the platform. We want to get to the idea of digital health passports. I mean, we've heard about this in the news many times. One question that I always think about is why is there a pushback on adoption of it if everyone's for it, and why isn't this idea being accelerated forward? What's the holdup?
Well, I think the holdup is actually in the fact that in order to have these health passport in place, digital health passport. Many of us who've traveled before would have remembered the yellow cards or yellow passports used for yellow fevers and tracking other vaccinations you may have got. They're still around. I've personally lost mine, but my wife still has hers. But we can't use those anymore. Those can be easily fabricated. Fake ones are actually sold in the black market. I didn't know that until recently, that have been available for quite some time. And what the industry wants to avoid is moving forward, having people coming in with fake tests and fake vaccination reports moving forward. So we need to have a digital record that if actually you present your QR codes or whatever format the passes are developed moving forward, that actually it's linked to a database to verify that those are legit, they're accurate, they've been, the validated vaccines and testing that have been done, and et cetera. And that's a complex part, because then you start talking about sharing data across border. And this is where complications come in, because other departments get involved and ensuring that data privacy that everyone wants to actually keep with them.
And then, as you well know, that a lot of our members are SMEs, and of course probably a lot of the people who've registered for this event are SMEs. When you see all these words, like digital transformation, data and privacy, operational efficiencies, right? If I'm an SME, it's gonna push me back a bit, because I'm looking at a huge, there's some costs that are associated with a lot of these different things. What would you say to the SMEs who, of course, now are kind of devastated that their resources are a bit limited? So for them to say, I need to just, transform my business and be more digital, or have more remote workers, or have some data as part of my, as my marketing plans. What do you say to them, and the costs that not be associated with what we can envision in the future?
I think that the good thing about what happened over the last few months, and we've seen it throughout the week, many businesses have developed similar services. There's a lot more competition in the marketplace than there was before. You can negotiate. So you have a lot more room for negotiation, because there's so much competitions out there now available with solution providers and technology providers who are offering competing and competitive products that would actually help your business to become more efficient moving forward. I'm sure also these businesses are probably more willing to work with you more closely for having you as a long-term customer, as opposed to just a one-off, in finding ways to help you during this crisis, and hopefully work more closely moving forward also.
Okay, so this is from actually one of our panelists here, Jason. So for the tourism-dependent countries out there, how can we push further on the digital health passport idea understanding that for the bigger countries, opening borders may be way down in the line in terms of priorities. Shall we start more aggressively with tourism-dependent countries?
Yeah, the health passport is not the miracle solution to everything. It's only one item out of many. Testing is here to stay, at least for a while. So you'll need a combination of both. You also probably need to look at opening borders to other countries that have a good handle on the situation at the moment and number of cases in their respective destination. So this idea of corridors, as it was discussed before, is now still very relevant moving forward in understanding how you actually limit the risk. And that's the big question at the end of the day. You want to limit the risk of contamination in your respective destinations to ensure that you keep care for the safety of your residents and citizens, and equally also for the visitors coming to your country. So it's a range of different protocols that needs to be put in place. Health passport is critical moving forward because now we have a world which is partially vaccinated. And even though it's increasing by the day, it will take years to get the entire planet, the entire world actually vaccinated. So we need a range of different solutions.
So I think we've discussed this. Like, I guess with all the vaccinations as being just a small part, a lot of the stuff that still needs to be figured out is the whole logistics ends, right? The passport, the testing, the quarantines. I mean, what's your position about the quarantine situation? Should countries have quarantine? Should we have testing?
I don't believe, and I've said it many times before, that actually quarantines are required. Quarantines are required, obviously, for people who are tested positive. That's a given. But for people who are actually tested negative, I don't see a need for vaccination. There needs to be a means for tracking, a means for having the ability to run the test probably over a period of time, not only on departures and arrivals, but possibly for if you're staying for a long stay, to be tested more regularly and etc. But the quarantines we've all know are been a big detriment to the growth of tourism at the moment, or the restart of tourism.
And then, I mean, if you have testing, then would you bundle sort of the cost of testing into maybe a package, or would that just be something that's how would that work out?
We know that some destinations like such as Ras Al Khaimah, who actually offers free testing. I believe Dubai does the same, and a few other destinations. It really depends on each countries and each destinations what they're prepared to do. If the government is able to facilitate the testing at zero cost to the travelers, obviously it's a competitive benefit. But if not, I believe that travelers, if the cost is reasonable, would be willing to actually pay for a small amount to actually get testing. But it's not only actually the amount of money, it's also the availability and access to testing within the time frame you need, which is typically 72 hours before departure, if you're doing it before you leave.
So we have another question from our audience members here. This is from Trevor Gerard at Hotel Resilience, one of the exhibitors, and his colleagues spoke earlier this week. Which destinations do you think have done a good job at getting tourists safely back, or at least at planning for their safe return?
There are not that many who are welcoming tourists on a widely at the moment. So it's kind of difficult to answer that question in that sense, but I will answer it maybe in a slightly different way. So we've seen great progress from various destinations and how they're getting themselves ready for opening, or have opened but with limitation. So we take, for example, Singapore, or we take, for example, Sri Lanka, who've come up with a little bit of a complex process for people to travel, but a safe one that allows businesses to welcome tourists in a slowly and gradual manner moving forward, which also enables the government and the businesses to kind of trial and test these protocols to ensure they're actually effective. All that we've seen in various countries around the world who have put some processes in place to welcome tourists have done it mostly in a gradual phases. We've seen Greece, for example, having some quite a severe regime of testing but also being very efficient in actually controlling the spread from the tourists visiting the country. So there are a few pockets of examples around the world who have now actually put some protocols in place that appears to be effective. And I think that's what we all in the tourism industry are kind of watching and trying to figure out which one is the most effective that can be replicated in other places. But certainly the one country that I believe will reopen to tourism and business travel, probably the first one within Asia, I would suspect would be Singapore.
Okay. I have another question here from Jason. So his question is, what are the biggest digital transformation challenge faced by small to mid-sized tourism businesses?
One that you mentioned before, and cost is obviously one of them for many of them. If you're truly an SME, that would be one of them. The other, it's kind of actually, it's more of the culture within the business to be able to understand that this digital transformation is not a luxury anymore. I know for many SMEs I've talked to the years I've been here with Pata, many of them say, "Oh, it's a nice thing to have, but I can manage my business offline. I've got a good business network. It works. I like it the way it works." And yes, it might have been true before, but moving forward, you're going to have a lot of competitions from other businesses that are actually now online and digital. We've all seen the success of businesses such as Klook and KKday and many others who are now just grabbing every piece of business possible and tour and experiences onto the platform to the way that now is so massive. You can find pretty much everything, the same way that OTAs have done in the past. So I think, but don't get me wrong, I still believe that there's definitely a need for more traditional travel agencies, specifically moving forward when we know that changes happen so frequently and so fast that you do want to have someone to guide you, to help you, to support you in a time of crisis. So there is a need for a more traditional business style, but it has to be accessible in a digital format, digital online. It's a combination of a hybrid of digital transformation with very personalized individual human services provided to the travelers.
I think this question is, we're trying to get this last question in before we end this here. But I think it's probably on the same vein of what was just asked. So this is from Kartika Angrani. While waiting for countries to decide on the health and border crossing, as well as digital health passports that allow people to travel, what do tourism actors such as tour operators and hotels do right now?
I think what many businesses have done over the last 12 months is they had to pivot. They had to find other means of earning income and finding other ways to do business. So I've seen all sorts of different business models out there where Al mentioned it this morning, where hotels are now actually lending their kitchens for ghost kitchens for people to actually be able to deliver food from their hotels. They're transforming themselves and creating online and digital activities. I've seen other businesses such as our good friends in Sri Lanka from Jetwing Properties who now started to buy and invest into tea plantations to diversify their source of income into agriculture, which eventually they can also become tourism destinations when things get better. So pivoting, looking at different revenue sources during the crisis to really sustain their business to make sure they're still around when actually things start to shift. So now there are lots of different opportunities out there to look. You have to be really creative. I know it's challenging, but looking at the services you can maybe provide that are not maybe your traditional business.
Yeah, kind of like what Al presented this morning, how one of the hotels using their ghost kitchens. I don't know if you saw it, where it was renting out that kitchen.
Yeah. Ghost kitchens or transforming your hotels into remote working offices. I know there's an hotel in the street where I live who offer their rooms as offices during the day. When I know, Paul, you've got young kids at home, and I know sometimes it could be challenging if you have to do webinars from home. But you might find, well, if I just got a room across at the hotel for a couple of hours to do my work, it might be useful. So, there are opportunities to transform your hotel rooms into different services during this time of crisis.
Well, thank you very much, Mario, for taking time to present and to answer some of those questions. If the stuff that we were just talking about, the presentation we're talking about was actually this morning during the Discover Beyond Marketing. Al from Myriad, from MMGY Global presented. He actually presented what some of the hotels were doing in the U.S. Feel free to go back later after this session and rewatch that video on demand. There was some really good ideas that he presented that some of the hotels were doing. So that might help answer Kartika's question there. So thank you very much, Mario. And I think we'll see you again after the pitch sessions. You'll do a little closing speech. So I'll see you then.
See you later. Thanks.
Thank you. Okay, so we've heard from Mario about what the future of tourism looks like beyond 2021. And with that, we've come to the presentations. So we have with us about five organizations that will present about the different products and services that can help you build your business during and post COVID-19. And so we have representatives from Master Plan, Dragon Trail Interactive, Talent Basket, Sagati Travel CRM, and Japan Sun. Okay, and we'll start off at the top with Master Plan. So, ladies and gentlemen, from Master Plan, we have the Manager Director of Master Plan, Pinata Promaitong. Or I believe her nickname is just Tui. Tui, I think you're up.
Okay. Good afternoon, Paul.
Good afternoon.
Okay.
So once you have your presentation ready, we will start the timer.
Okay. Let me share my screen first. Okay.
Looks good.
Okay. Okay, let's start, right?
Yes.
Okay. Good afternoon, everyone. My name is Pinata Promaitong, Managing Director for Masterpan Company. Today, I'm going to show you how our virtual business matching system and website could offer you 3 perfections. 1, perfect matchmaking, 2, perfect time managing, and 3, perfect utilizing. First, who are we? Masterpan as innovative service of tailor-made online business platform solution. We uniquely design self-operating virtual online business matching website and system to fulfill objective of the government organization, event organizer, B2B exhibition, all type and scale. So how? There are some key pain points we have been hearing from our customer, such as COVID-19, competitive globalization, complicated and unreliable system, unmatched partnership, lost opportunity, management, and surplus cost of labor. So how? To improve the problem, we have developed the automate matching services. Our service supplement with entirely process and succeed on their own, saving organizer from human error and surplus of cost labor and certain their opportunities. So next. What exactly is this virtual online business matching supplement? It's a complete and automate mediator system, easy, flexible, and well protected to run and to use. The system delivery consisting of face-to-face meeting from the comfort of trader whereabout, while prioritizing secure matching opportunity and greater possibility through the systematic arrangement of trader selected idea partner. So Then how this formula distinguish itself. Our integrate simulation website showcase our inventive and productive mastermind, connecting functional and virtual concept while presenting the brand expertise in different reality. Likewise, the intelligent matching system featuring a smart pre-schedule appointment algorithm or PSA allow you to pre-select desirable partner, resulting in perfect matching with no unnecessary step of acceptance and channel switching. Just present yourself at a single channel, which adds number or available matching. The system has automatically arranged against difficult time zones, while still can request to add more slot after the after the scheduling. And plus, the user individually receive detailed real-time one-on-one satisfactory rating. The detailed real-time one-on-one satisfactory rating to use as a reference for the organizer to improve their event, buyer and seller as well. So with the crisis or not, our services first facilitate you to continue your businesses and preserve you bigger and beforehand matching perfect matching opportunity. But it's not just quantity, but it's sort of quality. Okay, Paul,
Yes,
I'm done.
that was 5 minutes. Good job, Tê.
Okay.
And I believe that you said
I
earlier.
can't breathe.
Well, hey, for your first time public speaking on a
Yes.
platform like this, you did a fantastic job.
Thank you, Ka.
So just a quick question here. So if anybody has any questions, feel free to send it on the chat. But I'll start with a couple questions on my own. So, I mean, you focus a lot on the business matching aspect, but your platform is a full virtual event platform, or is it just specifically just business matching software?
Actually, we have both. We start with the website and also the system about the virtual online business matching as well. We have all we have done by all.
But I mean, let's say I use a different system, but wanted to use your business matching software. Is that possible? Like, just have my delegates be matched on that, and then use a different virtual system?
Actually, we use our platform.
Okay.
To let the buyer and seller to use the pre-schedule appointment to matching and then show up on the virtual online business matching.
So is it like AI recommendations, or is it by interests? So how does that work?
Actually, it's not a quite similar AI recommendation, but we call recommendation list. It's from some feature and condition from the organizer. We basing on requirements on the organizer, but the recommendation list will pick up by registration profile first, and then they will show the recommendation list. But it's not just AI, but it's quite similar.
Okay. And what's the cost structure? What's your cost model?
It really is about our algorithm as well. It's based on the condition from our customer.
Oh, so like it depends on. So if I want to use your software, it depends on how many people I want to match within your system. You're saying
Yes.
the price of this would be dependent upon the size of the event and the number of delegates that are being matched within your system.
Yes, exactly. It depends on the number of buyer and seller and feature in the system that you need that you want.
Okay. And does your system work in all? This is from a question from one of our attendees. Does your system work in all countries? So I mean, China is always an issue for a lot of software. Does it work in all countries?
Actually, it's difficult in China, right? But last week we just find out the channel to online in China. We can done all country at the moment.
Okay.
Mhm.
I believe our time is up. So thank you very much, Thuy. If anybody has any more questions for Thuy and Master Plan, feel free to visit their booth. You can connect with Thuy and her team there. I think there's the online call. If she's available, you can give her a call, send her a message, download some brochures, reach out, find out more about Master Plan and how they can help you with your next events. So thank you very much, Thuy.
Thank you ค่ะพ่อ Have a good day ค่ะ
Have a good day. สวัสดีครับ สวัสดี
ค
ค
รั
รับ
บ
Okay, we've come to our next presenter, and they're based out of China. So, ladies and gentlemen, please welcome Borah Schnittman from the Vice President of Client Strategy at Dragon Trail Interactive.
Hi, Paul. Thank you.
Thank you. Over to you.
Yes, I'll just share a screen. Yeah. Hello, everyone. Good day from Beijing, China. I would like to introduce to you today Tntm all-in-one virtual event platform solution by Dragon Trail Interactive. So Tntm is the next travel market Dragon Trail all-in-one virtual event platform. It is fully bilingual, available on PC, mobile, and WeChat mini program. It is a simple business tool for matchmaking, one-on-one meetings by video and chat. It has integrated conference and networking model, customizable exhibition with digital booth, and of course, big data collection for exhibitors, buyers, and event organizers to follow up after the event is finished. We offer global reach with localization for China on WeChat. So the events can be delivered for any markets on every available platform, with a special extension into China market via WeChat mini program. First one is the exhibition model you can see in front of you. So there is, on the left side, there is a customizable exhibition map that can be zoom in and zoom out. By clicking on each exhibitor booth, buyer can see exhibitor business profile, including video and images, marketing materials, and of course, contact details of the exhibitor. Now to matchmaking and meeting model. Okay, the exhibitors and buyers submit their selection before the event. So they submit whom they want to meet. AI system our team developed will generate matches. Then we have pre-fills appointment diaries. And after both sides confirm, they meet in private room with video call, multiple participants video call, chat, and there is also auto text translation available during the virtual meeting. Third one is conference and event model. So like in each trade show, we have a conference zone. In this zone, live and pre-recorded conference plenary sessions can be broadcasted. There is breakout session and networking. And also we have live Q&A sessions available, panel discussions, live polling, and contests to engage with buyers. The fourth is buyer engagement model. It's also part of this virtual trade show. We want to give incentive to buyers to be more active during the event, so they can get different incentives and bonuses when they complete one-on-one meetings, when they obtain a high quality rating from exhibitor, etc. We are the most mature platform in the market. We started in 2019. In last year only, we delivered successful more than 20 different events for travel industry, trade industry, consumer goods, and education. There are some of our previous clients, including PADA, Tntm, Hong Kong Tourist Board, Lucerne, etc. You can see here the successful results from last year, more than 2,500 pre-scheduled meetings, 90% completion rate. This is for ITCM China last year. And also for Hong Kong Tourist Board, we had more than 200 invited MICE buyers, 80 exhibitors, and a lot of business appointments. Our price range for online roadshow starts from $2,500. We need 3 weeks notice for that. And big events like virtual trade events, we need 7 weeks notice, and its price starts from $10,000. That's it. This is my email address, contact details. So I'll be happy to schedule a demo, personal demo with one of our specialists. I wish you happy Chinese New Year and all the best. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Borah, for that presentation. Yes, we used the platform for our Pata Travel Mart late last year. So very familiar with it. I know if anybody who's watching that, probably if you join us for PTM, you'll be familiar with it as well. But I just had a quick question. I saw there's the virtual roadshow and then the virtual the events, and it said it starts at 10,000. What would be the cost of the price increase? I mean, if you said if it starts at 10,000, that's for a small event of X amount of people. Are you basing it off the amount of exhibitors, the amount of delegates?
Yeah, it's a good question. Thank you for the question. First of all, for the for virtual roadshow, it starts from 2,500, and it means that we have one client that want to do personal organizational virtual roadshow, and then the price is obviously lower. When it comes to big events such as a trade show, similar to ITCM or Hong Kong Tourist Board or PATA, then we are dealing with many participants that want to have matchmaking with Chinese buyers, or if it's a travel industry, other industry, obviously different buyers. So the price will be approximately $10,000 per buyer, but the price is also changing, per exhibitor, but the price is also changing due to the size of the event. So if the event will be big, obviously the price per exhibitor will be lower.
So you said $10,000 per exhibitor?
Yeah. So it's a start price, but again, it's changing according to number of exhibitors. So this is something that's basic, but the establishment of the platform, it has its own cost. So basically, this is the price of establishing the platform, and then the price per exhibitor change, and it can be adjusted according to client and his needs.
Okay, and then you mentioned something about the Chinese buyers. So part of that package is helping to attract Chinese buyers, or I mean, you guys have a database of Chinese buyers, and that would be included in the price?
Yes, Paul, it's a good point. I didn't have time to mention it, but actually one of our advantages, at least within the travel industry, is that the company, since its establishment in 2009, actually it's focused mostly on Chinese travel trade. So we have currently more than 60,000 Chinese professionals from travel trade in our database. And of course, part of the services that we provide to tourism brands and tourism clients that want to communicate with the Chinese travel trade is we also guarantee a number of appointments with Chinese buyers. And we promote this event to all our database. obviously according to the interests of our client. So if it's a client, for example, that interested in mice, we will promote it only to those who are related to mice. And if those are interested to, in customized travel, boutique travel, small group travel, then we have in our database those with the tag of customized boutique travel. So in that sense, we do leverage our database to promote this event to for our clients.
And then the last question, I guess you had you said that it's both in Chinese and English. Then do you have services to provide, let's say, simultaneous translation for like English to Chinese or vice versa? Do you provide any of that?
Yeah, that's also a good question. Actually, now we start to work. We're about to start working with the European Travel Commission on the next virtual event in China. It's going to be the first event of ETC in China that connects both European exhibitors and Chinese buyers. And we do, first of all, there is automatic translation in a chat. Second, as mentioned, the video chat, the video room, can include multiple participants, so it can be up to even 10 participants. So those exhibitors that want to include a translator, they can do it while negotiating with the Chinese side. So this way, for example, in one virtual room during the meeting, there will be one translator and a few people from each side if needed. We can obviously provide translation services. It's not included in the price I've mentioned before, but also businesses themselves can invite, the Chinese translator or Chinese office partners to be in the meeting.
Okay, well, I think our time's up. Thank you very much, Borah.
Thank you so much, Paul.
Thank you so much. If you want to know more about their platform, feel free to visit their booth, or you can email Borah at the email that he's shown on the screen. As I said, we used the platform late last year, and so many of our members and industry colleagues would probably be familiar with it. And yes, it was fun working with the Dragon Trail team. So thank you so much.
Thank you, Paul. Happy New Year.
Happy New Year. So now we've come to our next presenter. It's our good friend from Chinese Taipei. He is the founder and CEO of Talent Basket. Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome Mr. Jason Lin. Jason, you're all ready to go. Okay, it's all yours.
Okay. All right. Hey, everybody. Thank you very much. My name is Jason Lin. I'm the founder and CEO of Talent Basket, a global digital and talent technology company. So really, the mission of Talent Basket is to empower digital and sustainable workforce transformation for global human capitals. So really, our broader mission and vision is that we believe the world is a better place when everybody can work and live as a global citizen with shared values. So we're really passionate about this vision and building a platform to unite workforce, community, and culture to promote sustainability and lasting relationships. So really, a lot of the small to mid-sized business in travel today face the daunting challenge of digital transformation, right? Especially during COVID-19. And I think the number one problem they face is the shortage of digital talents available. So as operators now urgently need to move online and meet the demands of consumer behaviors, and they really don't have a budget to hire digitally and less available human resources as well. And also operators really fundamentally need to reskill their current and future workforce for health and safety protocol in a digital way. So there's just quite a lot of transformation need that they're facing right now. And basically Talent Basket is what we call this HR on demand product that we're being in a stealth mode since last year. And basically we help connect travel businesses with motivated Gen Z interns to fulfill the digital human capital gaps during COVID-19. And what we really do is we try to create this bundle where we connect university access with 17 schools for intern recruitment. And our process take care of all the finding, interviewing, and onboarding the intern. And we also start to build our training and toolkit to really improve the digital work experience for both the employers and students to connect this digital transformation from the workforce side and from the employer side as well. These are some of the university we work with today. So there's about 17 of them throughout mostly Indo-Pacific. And we work with this university on not only the talent recruitment side of thing, but also integrating some of their school credit systems. So all the talents coming to work in a project, so the internships to Talent Basket, they can also get their school credit fulfilled. So we're trying to create this ecosystem with the university network. On top of that, we also develop our own digital academy called DB Talks. And this is really more like really practical training and on technical skill and even soft skill and career advice and mentorship to really continue to improve the digital work capability of our young tourism interns. And really, this is done on a weekly basis in a very peer-to-peer way. So we're building this process where there's a peer coaching, knowledge sharing, and learning exchange within our global community. So our talents can get certified and really will track their learning data throughout the journey, and they can be more and more ready and to become a digital ready talent for the business who need it. So the type of digital work that we really focus on today, and we have a huge ambition to really expand it across the different type of digital works. But today we really focus on really online communication projects for really B2C, B2B, or even stakeholder engagement. And this could be business who needs to have obviously social media marketing or any online marketing, online sales development, or even digitize their training content, a lot of maybe in sustainable tourism or safe and protocol, health protocol, that needs digitized training content and online customer services. So some of the skill set our talent can provide, obviously from copywriting to even digital content creation, animation, social media management, marketing, even social media short video editing and lead generation, e-marketing. And because our talent come from a lot of diverse country source, so we can provide services in Chinese, Korean, Russian, Thai, Vietnamese, and Indonesian for more global-based services. And this is our actually current pricing bundle. So basically, it's really easy to start a project with this, and we're building this out. For the essential package, it's basically $99 per month per project, and we'll provide you 2 interns. We'll basically work for about 15 hours a week. So we'll guide the client to create a digital work scope and really recruit, vet, and interview the intern, and really brief and onboard the intern to the project, and most importantly, facilitate the school credit administration so that there's no hassle for the employer. And we're also building our online feature for checklists to track work completion and also evaluation for enhanced work experience. So for a company with a little bit bigger budget, we also assign a digital manager called talent captain to manage the intern. And from there, we'll create a plan and milestones and also really manage a deliverable by the intern and train a coach and intern on behalf of the client and prepare a monthly report. And we're also building out this online toolkit to really improve the work processes. So eventually this will become really a digital workforce transformation guidance, not only for the intern to do the work, but also for the employer to really manage this digital works in a very streamlined process. So in a short period we launched, we have really today have about 1,300 talents in our platform. We already help about 180 interns through the system, helping with 51 employers. And currently today we have 29 talent captains that are essentially this digital manager who are helping with engagement management and project management. So with that, we really hope we could work with some of the product company and be part of a solution. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Jason. So it said, if you have any questions, feel free to send it into the comment box. And I got some questions right off the bat for you, Jason. So, I mean, you have 2 pricing models. You have your essential and your business model, right? In your business model, you have you manage the interns. So on the essential business model, then, so you match us with the interns, and then we manage the intern. Is that correct?
Yeah, so basically we understand sometimes budget is really an issue today for a small operator. So we try to really minimize the cost for them. So it's $99 and they can work directly with the intern. But what we're doing is we're building our features and toolkit to make that engagement easier for them to manage, because we realize, hey, not only by just having the intern to help the employer, there would be a little bit guidance needed. That'll be really, really helpful. As Mario said, a lot of times these small operators don't have the right culture in place. They don't have a process. So I think the essential package will be good for them to be almost like self-managed, but then be guided. On top of that, we're providing intern who can actually help the digital works. So I think that's a pretty competitive offer at this point. Yeah, for that.
Because you said you're vetting them a bit before you actually match them with the organization. Right.
Yeah, we're trying to make sure these interns are digital ready. And obviously a lot of them still need some trainings. And that's why we're creating this digital academy structure where we'll basically create our own certification process and this very kind of micro learning. And also in the future, we're creating more and more this sort of on-the-job training toolkit where the intern can be guided as they do the work and everything is trackable through data. So this way, we'll have a full transparency to what they have done, and also kind of like become a score checklist for the employer to see how their working is, and hopefully that eventually becomes more like a larger network. Even larger employer want to recruit this intern, they have some data point to check. Yeah.
I mean, because then that dashboard you're talking about, that also shows me how many hours they're working across the week, right?
Yeah, and also if there's facing any difficulty on certain tasks. So a lot of time, I think remote working, the biggest challenge is there's no visibility into what they've done. So you might be like waiting for 5 days, but that's all you have done? What happened? And maybe they got stuck. They just didn't understand certain aspect that if you just explain it in 20 minutes, they would have got it. So we're trying to enhance that visibility into virtual working. Yeah, which I think ultimately will also help all other type of collaboration too, not just with interns. Yeah.
Okay. Here's a question from how can you make sure that the students provide an excellent service for the company?
Well, at the moment, that's where the university aspect coming. So we partner with these universities, and in order for the student to get the school credits, they have to fulfill their duties as an intern. So we typically structure a program on a 3-month basis, and we're now partnering with university where by the end of the internship, they can get the recommendation letter and the approval from us, so that they can get the school credits or get the letter recommended from the employer. So obviously, if they don't complete their duty, they won't be able to get that. So that's a huge incentive for them to stay motivated and involved. Yeah.
Okay. So I have another question for you then. A lot of internships sort of lead to full-time jobs. I mean, if I'm an organization and I have one of your interns and I like them so much that I actually want to hire them full-time, is there a process that can happen in that regard, or I guess I would just talk to them separately?
Yeah, so that's actually what we're trying to build up, but it's frankly pretty complicated. So we have different employers who have pilot or projects and wanting to hire intern, but mostly even part-time even. So now we're trying to figure out a way to offer payment to these talents through our platform. And then they don't have to be necessarily full-time employment, but it could be more like a part-time job, but maintaining on an ongoing basis. So now we're trying to integrate with different payment platforms such as Stripe and there's other ones too, to be able to facilitate those payrolls, which is another aspect that will be very valuable in terms of compliance and payrolls. As Mario mentioned earlier, there's a lot of tax issues. So it is a complicated one, but we are trying to develop that right now as well.
Okay. Well, thank you very much. I think we're out of time, Jason. Thank you so much. Wish you the best of
luck.
Okay.
Thank you.
If you have any more interest or any questions about Talent Basket and the work that Jason does, feel free to visit his booth, schedule a meeting with him. I know that JC, who actually helped started our youth program, was instrumental in helping you launch this. So wish you all the best and a happy Chinese New Year to you.
All right. Thank you, Paul. Thank you very much.
Yes, so please do visit Jason's booth, Talent Basket, schedule a meeting with them, find out how they can help you with your business. I think it's a fabulous idea, especially as companies right now are, they've laid off work, but they still have a lot of work to do. So take advantage of the services that Talent Basket can provide. And with that, we've come to our final presenter, because one of the presenters actually couldn't be here. So the final presenter is the Business Development Manager at Sugati Travel CRM. And with that, please welcome Amir.
Thank you, Paul. There we go. I think I've shared my screen. Good afternoon, everybody. It's great to be part of this session. Great presentations so far. And as Paul said, this is the last one. So hopefully I'll make it relevant. So I'm from Sugati Travel CRM. Over the past 12 months, it's certainly been super, super challenging, to say the least, with the COVID hitting the travel industry. However, with us being able to maintain a robust and positive relationship with our existing clients, and obviously being able to onboard several new clients over the past 12, 13 months has helped us maintain our global position within the travel sector. So what does Sagati really offer? What do we do, who we are, and a bit of information about the company. So we are a Salesforce ISV, otherwise known as an independent software vendor partner. So our solution basically works on top of Salesforce. You can think of it as one of the apps that you download either on your iOS or on your Android mobile phones that gives you the ability to customize your smartphone to the way that you want to be utilizing it on a day-to-day basis. So the similar type of concept applies here with Salesforce and Sagati being that additional layer of technology on top of the Salesforce CRM. So the beauty of the system is the ability that you can customize it. You have an all-in-one solution, an integrated solution without the need of having multiple different systems that you have to implement. So you have one ecosystem that looks at different aspects of your business, all the way from marketing to finance, without the requirement of having several different systems. Some of the core functionalities that allow tour operator, travel agencies, and destination management companies use Sagati and gain loads of efficiency out of it is our inbuilt itinerary builder engine. So without, again, the need of having a third-party itinerary builder software, you basically have that available within the system. And under that, within that core functionality, obviously there are multiple different other pieces of the of software, such as your AI that helps you with image selection and loads of other things that ultimately allow you to create fantastic and hopefully great holidays for your clients. So this is more tailored around the FIT, the bespoke luxury holidays that perhaps travel companies might be offering to their clients. Other travel companies might be offering package holidays as well, so tour holidays. So we do also have this tour functionality that, again, under that umbrella, there's various different elements that make up the overall functionality, all the way from room allocation to managing inventory. So everything would be handled within one system. Again, the whole idea about an integrated all-in-one solution is not having the need of looking at different solutions when it comes to wanting to generate reports or managing tasks or automating certain areas of your internal processes. So again, everything is being managed within the system. How are we promoting Sagati during the pandemic, and why are we pushing Sagati to travel companies in order to overcome the crisis that we've been facing, and we are going to be going through it in the coming months and possibly years, unfortunately. So why invest in a travel technology solution today? So I think this was touched upon by Mario at the start of the presentation with regards to digital transformation. How would you want to be different from other travel companies within the market? How are you going to offer something better? So having this advanced, robust, end-to-end solution in order to provide and meet your clients' requirements in a more efficient, productive manner, this will be one way to be able to differentiate yourself from other competitors. One of the main trends that we are facing, or we've recognized over the past 12 months, has been the fact that there are travel startups coming about, and obviously, there's going to be significant competition, and obviously, if you want to be able to compete and survive within the market, you need to be thinking of different elements, technology being one of those pieces. And you're investing for the future, right? You're thinking about how you can, about data security, about migrating to a cloud-based solution, and using all the available resources for onboarding and training during the downtime, as opposed to when travel comes back. There's going to be loads of inquiries, bookings. So why not start early as opposed to leave it for later? These are some of our reputable clients. Again, as I mentioned, we've managed to maintain a positive relationship with all of them, and we are obviously, the list is growing, and obviously it's been a fantastic journey with all of these clients. And lastly, the last piece that I wanted to touch upon was about how we've helped travel companies such as Family Twist gain loads of efficiency and loads of flexibility during their time with us over the past couple of years. And this has been the same across all of our existing client base. With that, that's really it. If there's any questions, happy to answer those. Thank you all.
Well, thank you very much, Amir. Actually, I do have some questions. You said so. I guess because it's the name of the company, and then what you said before. So you said that Sugati, I guess, like if I'm using Salesforce, it integrates with Salesforce, right?
Correct.
So my CRM,
Correct.
only because it's confusing when you have like Sugati Travel CRM, and then like I thought your system was a CRM, but as a standalone, like if I didn't have a Salesforce or didn't have a CRM myself, do Sugati has a CRM that I could then use, or I have to still get my separate CRM?
Great question. It's Sugati currently, Paul, works with Salesforce CRM only as of today. So it's basically, think of it as I explained, as an additional app that you download. So you cannot just download WhatsApp in the air. You have to have either a mobile phone to be able to download it or on your desktop. So it's the same type of relationship or concept. So it sits on top of Salesforce as an extra layer or skin of technology, and you would need, short answer, you would need a Salesforce CRM to be able to use Sugati, correct?
Okay. Yeah. So then once you have that, then Sugati takes care of everything else after, all the marketing automation. Is that correct? The marketing automation, building out the database, building the email lists, breaking it down to the smaller sectors to be able to blast out my messages accordingly, build itineraries, as you said. Is that correct?
Pretty much. I guess it ultimately comes down to what exactly the client's requirement is. Obviously, they're all going to be travel companies, but as you can appreciate, each travel company is going to do it slightly differently. They have their own internal processes. Some might have intense marketing, requirements. Others might not be too keen on the marketing functionalities. They might be more focused on the operations or the sales, tools that the system has to offer. But all of these functionalities are available as part of the one solution. It depends on how clients want to utilize it. We help them as part of the onboarding, implementation, and setup. And then it's really down to them to go ahead and say, okay, we understand how the system works now. We can build our own, let's say, workflow rules that will lead to more automation. We've learned the process. We're going to execute it further.
And how much customization does the user have? I mean, if we add this to the thing, is there a lot of customization, or is it pretty much just off the shelf?
Again, it depends. It depends on what the requirements are. It's hard to say without knowing, which specific travel company we're speaking about. What their size is. Usually, if you're an SME, you would go with the out-of-the-box package. We do have an out-of-the-box package, which is, like you said, your off-the-shelf solution. It typically takes around 80-90% of clients' requirements. It could take more than that, but it again comes down to exactly what the requirements are. But with the Salesforce ecosystem, again, I don't want to overcomplicate things, but there is a marketplace known as Salesforce App Exchange, very similar to your app store on your iPhone, right? You go in, you find the application, relevant application, you can download it. So Sugati is one of those. There's over 1,500 applications. So if there's something missing, you can go there. Some of them are free, some of them you need to pay for.
And one final question for myself then is, so I purchased, we decided to go ahead with it. What's the lead time till implementation?
So with regards to out of the box, so obviously we're going to focus on out of the box, as I don't know what bespoke implementation might be there. But out of the box, it really depends on how fast the client want to progress with the onboarding implementation. We provide a recommended 6 to 8 week process. Some clients that we've onboarded, again, given the pandemic and the downtime, they were able to onboard within 3 to 4 weeks. So they had the relevant resources, employees were around to obviously focus on the training and onboarding implementation. Some have even asked us whether they could do it in 1 week. It depends on how fast client want to move. We're happy to move as fast as they want. So it really depends.
All right, I think we're out of time. Thank you so much, Amir. If anybody has more questions for Amir, please feel free to reach out to him at their exhibitor booth. You can send him an email or reach him through the chat, or then video call them as using the Meet Now function as well. I'm sure he has some more information that's available that you can download, brochures and whatnot. So thank you so much, Amir.
Thank you, Paul. Thank you, everybody.
Thank you. And before before we actually end the session, I do want to welcome back PATA CEO, Dr. Mario Hardy. I believe he has some, as we end the final session on the last day of the event, I think Mario has some closing remarks he would like to say. Mario, over to you.
Thank you, Paul. I just want to take a few minutes to first actually thank our sponsors who've been supporting this event, the Asian Development Bank Ventures, or ADBV, the TCEP, the Thai Convention Exhibition Bureau, as well as Simplifying. And of course, like also to thank all the participants who joined us this week, all the businesses that are exhibited, did the showcase, did the pitches and presentations this week. A huge thanks to all of you for making a contribution. I certainly enjoyed the last few days of listening to all the thoughts and ideas that have been shared, and all the technology solutions and services are actually being offered across the region and across the world to really help our industry to move forward. I remain confident that we have a tourism industry that is resilient, that will come back and be stronger than ever. And I certainly wish that I travel soon and all of us can be on the road again, meet each other face to face, do some business, enjoy some great holidays, make our economic contributions to the local communities as we travel around the world. And then once again, a big thank you to all the participants this week. A big thank you to Paul and all the staff at PATA who made this event a great success once again. And I hope to see you at our next events. We have plenty, and I'm sure Paul will be sharing some of our future activities that are coming up. So again, thank you very much, and back over to you, Paul.
Thank you very much, Mario. Yes, I'll share about our future events, but let me just share my screen here. Again, I would like to also thank all of you for joining us. Thank you to all of our presenters for the presentations, and actually for joining as an exhibitor. Especially over the past few days, really, I've enjoyed hearing from all of our different speakers, all of the exhibitors, finding out what's available. Really, there's been some great content, some great speakers. If you've missed any of that, any of the sessions, you can go back and watch them on demand. I believe the platform will be open for 1 more month. So if there's anything you missed, you can go back, you can review, you can watch some of the old sessions, you can look at the exhibitors. If there was something that you find out you need in the future, you can come back and check out the exhibitor profiles and see if they're the right match for you and reach out to them. The call won't be available, but I'm sure there's maybe an email that you can then grab from that and then shoot them an email and contact them. So thank you to all the exhibitors. Thank you to all the visitors for being part of this event. And just like Mario said, thank you to our sponsors, ADB Ventures, TCEP, Simplifying. Just wanted to leave you just one more thing. If please do help support us, support you, help us help you. So your feedback is extremely important for us to make our events better. So please do fill out the survey. You can scan the QR code. The link is there, but it's probably easier for you just to scan the QR code. I believe on the event page or on the app, there will be on the side one of the side menus will actually have the survey. So just click on that, fill out the survey. Really, your feedback is extremely important to us to understand if we're doing, if we're providing the right benefits for you. And as Mario said, I'll give you just a couple of events that are coming up. Our next major event is our virtual PATA Annual Summit. So that's PAS, Virtual PAS 2021. It's being sponsored by the Ras Al Khaimah Tourism Development Authority, and it's happening from April 27th to 29th. We're still working out the details, but you can still register your interest on the PATA website. It's just go to www.pata.org/PAS, I believe. If not, I think just go to the PATA website and look for it. I don't have the slides for our other upcoming activities, but I'll mention to you, we have another webinar on the 25th of this month, I believe, if I'm not incorrect. It is travel in a partially vaccinated world. So please do join us for that. I think I'm moderating that session. So please do join us. You can find the registration on our website. For our youth who are watching this, there is a youth webinar on February 18th. It's the role of smart tourism and smart cities in recovery. So please do, if you're a youth, you can join us. I think if you're not a youth, you can join us. If you're young at heart, you can join us. So please, all the information is on our website. Any questions you might have about today's session, any of our previous sessions, any of our upcoming activities, you can email me. My email is fairly easy, paul@pata.org. As I said, you can find all information about what we're doing at www.pata.org. Once again, thank you to our sponsors, ADB, TCEP, Simplifying, all of our members, all of our life members, chapter members, partners. Without your continued support, none of this would be possible. And with that, that is the end of today's session, our last session of Pata Beyond. You can still go check out the website, check out the exhibitors, chat, interact, engage, and be part of the community. So thank you, and I'll see you at our next event. Take care.